Hey y'all, Melissa here from Sincerely Creative Mom. We're back with another Wreath Supply Box project. This time we're going to work with Deco Mesh. I just wanted to review. This one was from June of 2022, and we already made this beautiful design here with the contents, some of the contents of the box. The box came with the sign, this roll of ribbon, and two of those sunflower picks. So we already use those. You can find that video in the vault somewhere, whether it be on YouTube, here on Facebook, any of the places. Real easy, simple. So that one will retail for around $97 or so. This is the deluxe box that is about $94, and usually it retails for much more. So this June box came with the sign, this roll of ribbon, which is right here. We still have almost a whole roll left. Two of the sunflower picks. It came with the mesh that we're going to use right now, this roll of ribbon that we're going to use right now, the 2.5 inch, the 4.5 inch that we're going to use right now. Nope. That's for the project that we're using. I'm just trying to show off the box that what came in the box. Okay, so the roll of mesh, this ribbon, this sign, this ribbon. So this sign, which we're going to use right now in this project. And then the magnolias, the gnome, another home sign, and another be happy. That's really cute. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 signs total, 3 rolls of ribbon, a roll of mesh, and 2 of those sunflower picks. Totally love it. This supply box is definitely worth its weight in gold. I love getting these boxes. It's not supposed to be a kit per se, but more of inspiration pieces for you to make designs. So far, we're going to get 2 out of this, and you see we have plenty of signs left over to make more. Excuse me, sorry. If you're interested in this supply box I keep talking about, you can check it out at melsupplybox.com. I'm going to leave that right there. What we're going to do first is we're going to cut our mesh. So in the June box, this is June of 2022, it was worth, the retail value was $155.98. So all the things that come in it, including your shipping, all shipped to you for $94, which is amazing, totally great. I'm going to set this over here. I've already gone ahead and put our zip tie mount on the back here so I can use it to attach to the wreath. I'm just going to let that kind of stay together. I put a little dab of glue underneath, and I use those tabs to really secure it. So I'm going to put this aside for our bow later. I've already taken what I need from this roll to make this go a little bit faster. I have plenty here to make another pancake style wreath, which we're going to make right now. In fact, I have just enough to make another one. So out of this roll of ribbon, I'll get 2 wreaths out of it, which is very nice. And we're going to cut our mesh for this 20 inches long. So 20 inches long on the mesh is what I do for a pancake style. Sells very, very nicely in my local, in the boutique where I sell. It is a crowd pleaser for sure. I love this border mesh. Has a nice like cottony fabric. Cotton. It must be cotton. Even though when I cut it, it comes off here. It sticks in the thing. It's totally fine. So we need 12 pieces. 12 pieces at 20 inches long. So I didn't want to pre-cut this along with everything else, since it was all other pre-cut. But what I have left here after this will be enough for another half of a wreath. So lots of value in this one little box. Again, 20 inches long. The mesh itself is 10 inches wide, and we're just cutting them 20 inches long. let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, one more. So the 12 twist ties that I use, always a method to my madness, means that will be a whole wreath and this will be a half a wreath that's left. So if I have another roll of this, I'll be able to do a full design there. Okay, so we have a 14-inch frame, and we have 12 twist ties that we're going to use. This is going to be distracting. Get this out of our way so we can see what we're doing. What happens here is, since there's so many lines right in here, when I do those cuts, the blade gets them right into those cuts that are already there, of course. It makes us a little crazy. Okay, so we have 12 twist ties. Okay, I always use 12. We have a 14-inch frame itself. It's 1, 2, 3, 4 rings, and we have 6 brackets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This particular frame came from the Dollar Tree, actually. It's just enough. It's just enough to use for the amount of weight we're going to put on here. For much more intricate designs, or I'm putting more things on the wreath, I tend to use a heavier duty frame. But for what we're making today, it's just fine. Okay, so we're putting the first 6 pipe cleaners right where those brackets are. We're going around ring 1 and ring 2, and we're going right where that bracket is. Let's zoom in just a little bit so we can see here. There we go. So around 2, going crisscross, twist, twist. So my finger can't go underneath there, and it's not moving, okay? There we go. And then for the outside, I'm going to go right in between these 2 brackets, right between. And then I'm going to grab ring 3 and 4. A little snug, but not too snug. Remember, we were just talking about how much weight we're going to put on here. These frames are great. I use them literally all the time. But sometimes the welds can break. So I don't want to do it too tight. But watch, I'm going to show you. Just snug enough where when I put my finger across here and when I run it across, it's not sliding all the way. It's staying right where I put it. And that is the goal there. Then we have 3 left. We're going to use 2 for the sign, 1 for the bow. All right, and those pieces of mesh that came off the roll last, we're going to use those last. We're going to use the first 6 first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. Okay. So here's what we call a pancake style wreath. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this mesh be real pretty round so you can see all the border, which is important. But when I put it in there, it's going to be round but flat. So this wreath is going to be made for between your storm door and your main door. So I'm going to ruffle it all the way up to that center, make it really small. See, when I let go, it makes a nice big spread here. I'm going to go into the outside. We're using on the outside 6 first. Put it right inside. This mesh is super cute with that border. Now, the number one reason, I'm going to overlap this, and I'm going to overlap that top. The number one rule, rather, when you're making a wreath such as this and you're using a wire frame, you want to cover that frame. The frame is not your design. The frame is not something you want to see. So we're going to cover that up as best as we can. I'm going to ruffle right up the center, keeping our center as teeny tiny as possible as we gather it up there, all the way to the edge. Again, when you let go, you should have that nice spread going on. Bring that right up there. And then crisscross, twist, twist. Nice and tight. I don't have to twist it too many times. As long as I know it's in there nice and tight, I put that mesh right down to that pipe cleaner. I don't need to twist it any more times, and mostly because we want it to stay real flat, and so the more times I twist that pipe cleaner, the more it's going to bring up the whole design. So we want it to stay close to that frame. Now that mesh here along those edges, it's going to fray. It's a woven material. Once you cut it, there's no stopping it. It's just the way it is. So we're just going to do our best to conceal it, to camouflage it. So by overlapping those two ends, it kind of already starts to really camouflage it. And then we're going to put some ribbon on the top. We'll have that sign on the top. We'll put a bow on the very top. It'll be just fine. As long as it might look like I'm handling it pretty heavy, but I am trying to be real gentle with it. Not too gentle. I am also trying to go, at a swift pace here. And then I always turn up these inside out, like turn them upside down. It helps keep it round and flat, okay? Now another thing I'm going to point out is these pieces on the outside, the twist ties are a little bit further apart than the two on the twist ties on the inside. So they're a little bit further in distance than the two on the inside. So what you're seeing here is that these pieces of mesh, although they have a nice big spread, they're touching, but they're not overlapping. The two on the inside will overlap, which is good. Okay, one more here on the outside. Now to make it easier for myself, instead of doing the mesh on the inside, since we're specifically placing it in a certain way where we don't want to kind of mess it up, so instead of doing the mesh on the inside six next, we're going to do the ribbon on the outside. So we're going to completely finish these outside twist ties before we move on to the inside. And that's just so that when we have the mesh on those inside, we don't have to play with it or mess it up and disturb it once it's done. We just put it in and leave it. So we'll be done with the outside completely. Okay, so what I did was I took that ribbon from the supply box. I cut it 14 inches long. The ribbon itself is 2.5 inches wide, and they're all wired. Okay, so I cut them both 14 inches long. I dovetailed the end. So what I did was I folded it and I cut on the edge. I cut on the edge up to that top. Gather it, and we're going to put all of these in and then cut them all at the same time. So I'm going to take this and put it, scrunch it, scrunch it, scrunch it, fold it towards me. Twist it about, I don't know, 7 or 8 times. It's about an inch there that's twisted. When I cut that excess off, we're going to hide the rest. So I just have enough there to make sure that part stays hidden. Now, I'm not going to leave these ribbons like this because I just put 2 ribbons in there and I want to see all of that ribbon. So we're going to spread those apart here in a second. Time is also money. So when you pick up that wire cutter to cut off the rest of that pipe cleaner, just leave it in your hands and do them all at once rather than pick them up one at a time. There we go. Now it's starting to get a little bigger. There we go. Okay, so what I'm going to do from here, let me just move this for a second. What I'm going to do from here, oopsie. Well, I'm going to use that. I'm going to just cut off this excess, the part that we didn't twist. I'm going to take what's left and I'm going to stuff it underneath this side of the ribbon. And then I'm going to pull these apart up and down. I'm going to pull them apart side to side. Always apart, up and down, and apart side to side. You want that part that was just gathered here. You see it's all gathered. You want that to come apart so that it'll spread apart and stay. So the pancake style I sell for $79. So we have a wreath that's worth, let's say, I'm going to list it for $97. And a wreath that's worth $79. And the box itself cost me $94. So you see how, and we still have, how many, 4 or 5 signs left. We still have another ribbon here that can help me make another wreath. We have that 50-yard roll of the solid black, which is amazing. And quite honestly, I always didn't understand that. My kids like love the surprise things. Like they love the surprise, the LOL, all the Harry Potter. They love all the surprise stuff. This is lovely. Okay, or the surprise in the Wreath Supply Box is awesome. All right, now I'm going to take those remaining pieces of mesh that we have, and I'm going to come right down on top and put the rest right down on top. We're going to do the exact same thing to that inner section that we did to the outer section, exactly the same. And I'm going to come right on top. I'm not even going to disturb or move anything. I'm going to put it right on the top. And I'm going to overlap those just as I did the bottom. Now remember I said in the beginning, our goal is to hide that wreath frame. So although right now on the outside you can't see the frame, on the inside you still can see it. So, and I also mentioned that these two pieces of mesh out here barely touch, and I said that these were going to overlap. This overlap is going to help hide that frame, and then without even putting on our ribbon, you're barely going to be able to see that frame, which is our goal. Now some people put stuff on the edge of that mesh so that you don't have to keep pushing it like that. For me, it's just one more thing to take your fingers off of your working and take more time into your design, so I don't do that. Just curl it all up, unfold it, turn it inside, see how that totally just went over that one. It's perfect. All the way to that edge. You guys, if you're enjoying this video, I really hope that you are, if you're not already, if you're following or subscribing or whatever you are to the page that you're watching so that you can see more videos of us. If you're looking for more information, you can always check out sincerelycreativemom.com. And of course that supply box is melsupplybox.com. There are 2 levels to the box, actually. There's one that comes without the extra signs, which I believe is a $60 value. Usually the contents of the box is about $80 to $90. And then the deluxe box, which I get, in fact, I get 2. Call me crazy. I get 2 boxes. I get one regular, because I like all the extra things that come in it. And I get one deluxe, so I get one of the extra signs. and I get 2 of everything else. That also helps when you're making, when you want to make or making multiples. If I can list 2 of these, it helps your algorithm a little bit more as well. I'm zigzagging that a little bit. It's okay. As long as it mostly is in the center, it's good. Now there might be a wait list for the supply box. I'm not sure. But the website will tell you all you need to know. Okay, last piece. Oopsie. Last piece. And then we're going to put those ribbons in. And then add the sign. And then the bow using that really cute 4-inch ribbon. I can't wait to use that one. Oopsie. Well, hopefully our video is back. Sorry about that. I have 1 million alarms. Okay, and we're going to come in with our ribbon. And then now you're going to start to see that layering happen with the ribbon. It makes it look so cute. You might not get the full effect from the top, but you'll get the full effect from the outside. So when we're done, I'll put it up on the end, so up on end, so you can see just how thin it is. Without the bow, it'll be roughly 2 inches, which is very different from a 10-inch wreath that we normally are making when we're making those big designs. We'll add the bow. That'll add some height to it, about 2 inches or so. So the whole dimension will be about 4.5, 5 inches. Just depends on how many ribbons and how fluffy you make that bow. So that is up to you. There we go, and then same thing, we're just going to cut those excess pieces off because we do not need them anymore. And I'm going to try to not crunch the ribbon that we already put in, so I'm going to swerve that around. And then I'm going to do the exact same thing. Put that little piece under, pull it apart, spread it apart. I kind of do it in all in one motion. But you definitely want to make sure you're doing those 2 things. Spread it apart, up and down, and side to side. You don't want to leave any of that ribbon that you're paying for covered up, right? So you want to make sure it comes all out. It's so pretty like this. There we go. All right, from here, I'm going to take these clamps off. So I put them kind of different, and then we are going to utilize that one in the center just to be extra. And we're going to put these right up here, just like that, actually. And then our bow is going to come right down here at the bottom. Let's get our Easy Bow Maker out and use our, well, let's secure this first. All right. I'm going to put our pipe cleaners through here. Again, I put a little bit of Dap Rapid glue on that to help keep it in place and make sure that those zip tie mounts do not come off. And then I am going to utilize this top one just as an extra security. And then we'll make our, we're going to attach this and then we'll make our bow. Just make sure that our pipe cleaners get, and see the goal here now is to cover the center, obviously, because we don't want to see just the mesh. It looks unfinished. The second goal is to cover as many pipe cleaners as we can with our sign, and then cover what's left with the bow. So you don't want to see the pipe cleaners in your design. I'm just going to go like this. So it covers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect. That's really good. And then I'm just going to slide those pipe cleaners right through the mesh. I'm not going to move anything out of the way. Right exactly where it is, I'm going to come right down in, pull it nice and snug. And then wrap it right around the frame so it keeps it right in place. Usually this is the hard part because sometimes that pipe cleaner is a little hard to get right through all those layers of mesh. So far we're going good. When you're all done, you can do one last spread of all the ribbons. I do that at the very end. Make sure they're all going out towards the edge. Well, these all went in pretty good. Very nice. Just make sure that gets wrapped around. I'm going to turn it over so you can see what I'm talking about. And I didn't finish them just for the sake of trying to go as fast as I can. But what I do is I bring it in through the mesh, I wrap it around the frame, and I zigzag back and forth. So what I'll do afterwards is I'll just take this and wrap it around this, you know, that last one, because there isn't enough to go back and forth. So I just wrap them, okay? All right, so now let's make our bow. Super duper. We're going to take that 4-inch ribbon first. Adorable. Super duper cute. Let's move in on the bow here. And we're going to do about 8 inches and about 6 inches. Six and a half inches, that looks good. All right, and then I'm just going to gather it. Okay, pull that apart and then twist so I can always see that pretty side. Bring in another for my next loop. I'm going to, for the 4-inch, I'm going to do just one loop on each side and one tail on each side. Gather it, twist it, set it down in there. Then we're going to come on with another bee. So we have pretty much the whole roll after that one. Oh, this one, I didn't even know. This one came from the May supply box. So that's kind of cool. They had bees on the brain. And then here, this one we're going to do, I know it's B and B, but just follow along here. We want lots of bees here. I'm going to do this a little bit smaller. There we go. Same thing. Pull it apart, twist, loop. So this time we're going to do 2 loops on each side. Pinch, twist, loop, pinch, twist again, and loop, and then our tail. I'm just going to put our, there we go, to hold that. So that was kind of cool. And then we're going to go with the black in the center. Just going to pull that. We're going to do 1 loop. On each side. Nice solid black. It's always nice to have a solid color. Oops, I need that. And then this one, I'm going to use the rest of this leftover. I'm just going to use that 1 little loop on the center, and that's it. And we're going to use the rest of that ribbon. Okay, so from here, let's set this right in there. From here, let me grab another pipe cleaner. I'm going to pull this right off of our, probably going to pull out one of these stems because they're barely in there. Push down real hard, make sure that center is staying nice and tight for me. Make sure everyone is in line back here. And get, oopsie. That happens sometimes. Let the little fingers let go of that, alright? Once you get that first twist, you're good. So then this is just going to go in the front, right up in the top to hide that pipe cleaner. And I'm going to bring all those tails, let's start at the bottom like I should. Bring all those tails right to the bottom. Layer by layer, all those bees. And then the solid. And of course that really cute yellow on the top. Bring those all to one side. Very cute. I'm going to pull that one up to the top. Okay, and then I'm going to slide this in there, and then once it's in, we'll fluff out the rest of those sides. Just like we did the sign, I'm pulling that right in to that frame. It's nice and snug. Wrap it around so that it's not going to move. And then let me zoom this out so we can get the whole thing. So from here, I'm going to highlight all those bees. Super duper cute. Cut off the rest here. Just cutting on the fold. Adorable, super cute. So from that one box, I'm already able to get 2 designs. Totally and absolutely love it. You guys, I hope that you enjoyed this little guy. And if you're looking for information, again, on the Wreath Supply Box, it's melsssupplybox.com. Again, I am Melissa from Sincerely Creative Mom. We have a whole array of things going on here, but look at how cute. All from the same box. Totally, totally love it. Make sure you're following us, subscribe to our page, all of those things so that you can see our videos in the future. I thank you very much for watching our videos, and I will see you soon.